Hey, I'm back, and if you watched my last episode, or my last video, I was working on my 1970 Duster, and I was putting the front end together on it, talking about some budget-saving tips on building a project car. And if you watched, we put drum brake spindles on it just to mock it up and got it out of the garage. Well, we've done that. It is outside. The front end's all mocked up, and right now I'm working on the steering, getting all the steering together, and I've got most of my parts in, and I'm going to show you a few things on that. If you're wondering why I had to get it out of the garage, I have a small shop, and I don't like that one sitting outside, and I had other cars to work on. We still work on other junk, so unfortunately that's got to sit outside until the rest of the parts come in. So real quick, working on the steering column tonight, and I'll show you that here. So here's our steering column. Been working on this, got it all tore apart. Going to plan on sandblasting everything and rebuilding everything, some new bushings, some new seals, and a new bearing. But real quick, I wanted to show you this. So this car didn't have a steering column in it, so luckily I had this one laying in the attic. But unfortunately, I didn't know that there was a difference in the steering columns. Mopar had power steering cars and manual steering cars, and I want to make this car a manual steering car. But unbeknownst to me, the steering column was for a power steering car. So you say to yourself, who cares, what's the difference? But there is a difference. This shaft here that sticks out of the column is actually shorter. And at the end of the steering column is this ugly little guy. This is a steering coupler. And what this does is this shaft here has a pin through it that sticks through there. It sticks out even on each side. And it has these pieces that sit on each side, and they fit down in that coupler. That allows this to kind of flex a little bit. This end right here goes onto your steering box. But if you have a power steering car, this hole's too small. This is a smaller hole with different splines, and this is bigger. In fact, it's hard to tell, but this is smaller. It will not, it don't fit. It ain't gonna fit. So what a lot of guys do, you have a couple options. So one option is to buy a different steering column for a manual steering car. Nowadays with COVID and the inflation of everything in the world, especially classic car parts, a steering column could be $300 to $400. Not going to do that. Your next option could be to change out the shaft and that coupler. Also, going to be a little over $100. Don't want to do that. Third option is to get one of these from Jegs or Flaming River or Mancini Racing, any of these places. Borgeson. The problem with these, the ones that you find if you search for it on the internet, is they're about $120, $130, and that's expensive. There's also an adapter that fits in the splines here. Actually, correction, in the splines here and the splines of the shaft. And it makes up that difference for that shorter shaft. It's also over $100. So I didn't want to do any of those. So I got on the Amazon, the website. You know, back in my day, Amazon was a rainforest. But I got on Amazon and found this little guy for $40. And I had to make sure it was the right spline count and the right diameter on this side, and it was the correct diameter on this side. 3/4 inch and 36 splines is what is on this end, and this is a 3/4 inch hole here. And so what I did was I took our handy dandy shaft, and I'll show you here in a second. Let me put this in a vise. So I took the end of our shaft, and this is, like I said, 3/4 inch. This is 3/4 inch, and looky there, like butter. Fits nice and tight. Now, this didn't come with any way of holding it onto the shaft, so I had a few options. At first, I thought about welding a bead right here all the way around, but then I decided against that because what if I need to replace it? So instead I found my center and I drilled a hole the same size as the hole in the shaft, and I am going to reuse my pin. I've used the micrometer and measured this pin and found a drill bit that was the right size, so I can hammer that pin through there. And that will hold that. This other end fits very nicely on there. Oh yeah, just like that. And then this has a kind of a set screw to center it up, tighten it down. Of course, use quite a bit of Loctite. Yeah, that's not going to go anywhere. So I think that's a good deal. That's going to be a good budget thing to do on these cars if you don't want to spend $150 freaking dollars for something that comes with a sticker from a name brand, you know. So I'm going to hammer this pin in here real quick. So I'll do another video later when we get the rest of our things together to assemble this column. I didn't do a video of taking it apart because that's boring, and really putting it together will be boring too. But I will show that. I had planned on having this all sandblasted and ready to paint and assemble, but it's raining and I don't sandblast in the rain usually. So this will all be cleaned up. This will be a column shift car, automatic. So this will all get blasted and painted a nice pretty glossy black, along with all this, get all this crud off of here, and make it all look good. We've already got most of our new steering, so the car has new tie rod ends on it, and we have our brand new steering box, which I got off eBay for $180. It's the cheapest I could find it, and it's rebuilt, and it's really good. In fact, I have the exact same one on that car, and it works great. We also have our brand new Pitman arm, but one of the internet shipping places that hasn't delivered my idler arm yet. It was supposed to be here two weeks ago, and it's not. But there's something else I want to share with you. So I wanted to do disc brakes on this car. That was the whole point of the last video, talking about disc brakes and everything you needed. So the last video, I told you have to swap big ball joint upper control arms and then some spindles off of another 73 and up Mopar to get your big bolt pattern and factory disc. I found these at Pull Apart, and these are off of a Diplomat, a 1983 Dodge Diplomat, and these will practically work. I got the spindle, the caliper bracket, and these dust shields. This will all sandblast and clean up real nicely. I even went ahead and grabbed the rotors. They look good enough to sandblast and machine, and they will clean up like new. And it wasn't but a few dollars more to just go ahead and grab the calipers. Even if these are bad and I don't use them, they're cheaper than the core charge, and I don't have any cores. So I grabbed this whole shebang for $110, and I even kept my hardware. I didn't keep the brake pads. I'm not that cheap, but this is everything. And then your lower ball joint will bolt on here. So that is a pretty good deal. So unfortunately, the market and the inflation has gotten to the classic car world real bad. If you're building an old car, or you're paying attention to Marketplace, eBay, Craigslist, any of that stuff, you'll know that everything is worth money now, and everything's through the roof. I called our local classic Mopar junkyard, and I just wanted a pair of spindles, and he wanted more than new ones cost. Brand new, you can get the spindles, the caliper brackets, and the dust shields for around $250, and he wanted more than that for rusty, crusty ones down in a sinkhole that I would have had to go and remove. So just keep an eye out. Don't always be looking for deals. Looking junkyards. I just happened to do a quick inventory search, and the Pull Apart had what I needed. And if you've never shopped at one of those yards, those type of U-Pull-It yards, where it doesn't matter what car parts on, all the parts for any maker model are the same price. All these spindles cost the same if they're off of a Yugo or a BMW. So it's a real cheap way to find parts that you need. So that's all I have to talk about tonight. I'm just going to be piddling with other stuff, cleaning this stuff up, and that's really boring to watch. So check out some more videos. Hope you like it.